What if you could give yourself a $10,000 raise in 1 year? Or even just be able to take a killer vacation. Today, we're gonna talk about that in this video, how you can do the same thing with your business just like I did. What's up, guys? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam Marvin, and I have been in the photography industry for 25 plus years. While I love being a creative, business is my passion, and elevating the photography industry is my focus. I created the 7-Figure Photographer to share my journey to 7 figures and to help others find their way as well. Let me ask you this, guys. What would you do with $10,000 extra to spend? Please make sure to comment below what you would do if you had an extra $10,000 to spend, or where you would go on vacation if you had that money. Let's get down to business, guys. Today I want to share with you more about how you can make more money for yourself without changing much about your business. How you can give yourself a raise. That's what I did this year. I gave myself a $10,000 raise by just doing this one little thing. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory on this to start out. One of the things that I realized a long time ago is that I had to accept credit cards to give people more opportunity to spend. Not everybody always has the money to spend, but they still want to spend money. I know it's a crisis in our country, but we can't be worried about what people want to do with their money and how they want to spend it. I really didn't understand very much about it myself, but I do remember one of the best years I had. In fact, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. I was actually sitting on the beach in Cabo, and my phone dinged, and I'm kind of addicted to my notifications. I picked up my phone, and I started reading through my emails, and I noticed that one of the emails I had was from my credit card processing company. It was the statement for the end of the year on how much money I lost to the credit card companies. Now, when I opened my statement and I realized that I had paid $14,000, I about choked. I had no clue, because honestly, when you decide to take credit cards, you really have no clue how much it's gonna cost. When a customer comes in with an American Express card, it typically costs you 4% of the transaction. If a customer comes in with a miles card, it costs you more. And some credit cards are more, some are less. What infuriates me about this is they literally get 3 to 4% of whatever I do in sales with credit card processing just for them to say, yes, this credit card has enough money for you to take this transaction. That's it. And they get 3 to 4%. And as I sat there and reflected on it, I realized that the vacation that I was on, which wasn't really vacation, it was actually sitting on the beach because we were there for senior destination shoots. The total cost of that trip with all the people that I took down there and everything was around $10,000. And I realized that I could afford that trip so much easier if I didn't have to pay credit card processing fees. So when I got home from Cabo, I got on the phone and I called my credit card company, and I was talking to them and I said, guys, this is ridiculous. I'm a small business and I can't afford to pay you this much money every year to process a credit card. And so they were great about it, and they decided to talk with me and to negotiate, and we actually negotiated it down to about 1.5%. But at the end of that year, I had still paid 4% on average of all of the sales that I made. 4% went to credit card processing. And to me, I was just like, I just negotiated this down. So why is it still 4%? And it didn't make sense. I called the credit card company again, furious, and I threatened. I said, you know what, guys, if you can't figure this out, I'm not going to use your services anymore, and I'm sure you'll be upset to lose out on that $14,000. Well, honestly, they didn't care. I switched to a system that was easier for me to understand where the money was going and how much percentage was coming out, and I started using Square. It doesn't make it any better. Square is, no matter what, across the board, 2.5%, but there's still some additional extras in there, and it still just didn't feel right. I really started to focus on what I could do to eliminate the cost of the credit card processing. I mean, without question, you have to offer credit card options because people just have to, they want the immediate gratification. They want to be able to use a credit card and be able to put it on and get the miles. But what's necessary is to figure out what can you offer that customer that is better than something down the road. And what's better is something they get right now, and they can have that immediate gratification. Now, in the sales room, one of the most important things you can understand is that the only thing that separates you from a great sale is oftentimes you being able to pave the road to the sale, giving them an option or a way to make it happen. And oftentimes that's with a payment plan, or that's with just use your credit card or whatever it may be. It blows my mind how many people don't think that we would accept a check, or how many people don't think we would accept cash. But what I want to talk to you about, and the secret to how I gave myself a big raise or a $10,000 bonus, was I learned to create an incentive for people to pay with other forms. Now, of course, the incentive that I really want them to use is either cash or check. This worked out so well for me this year that honestly, I would have to say that 85% of the transactions we did were with cash or check. When I decided to go on this journey of figuring out how to eliminate some of the costs of using credit card processing, I didn't want to eliminate it completely. I still give people the option, and I make sure that they understand that I'm not punishing you for using a credit card, but I am rewarding you for paying with cash or check. The one other way that I do is I offer financing. Now, I happened to be in the bank one day, and I was using just a local credit union. I asked them, I said, do you guys have any credit card processing systems that could save me a little bit from using some of the big, like Credit One, or I can't even remember, First Data, that's who it was. And so I asked the bank, and they said, honestly, we're glad you asked, because we have what's called lifestyle lending. And so I started to look into it, and I kind of jumped into it feet first. I was like, this is cool. And basically, it's like if you went to a furniture store or to any typical business that offers financing. They have a credit card process. It's on approved credit. They fill out an application real quick. And then the bank that I work with is the one that approves the loan and funds the transaction. Now, what's cool for the bank is they actually get a new member out of the process. And that's one of the things they have to do, is you have to sign up for a new membership, which is typically a $5 charge, but then they fund the loan. And the loan could be up to, whatever. I think the biggest one we've ever done was $8,500. And you have the choice to either do it as an unsecured loan or as a credit card. But what this does is it allows the bank to fund the transaction, and there's no cost to me for using the service. The application takes probably 10 minutes to fill out. We do it right during the sales session, and we submit it and normally have a response back within 5 to 7 minutes. And of course, the best part about it is it's funded and there's no cost to me, no credit card processing transaction. It's basically a straight across, just like cash. It works out great. Customers love it, but it gives you an opportunity to offer either a cash, check, or financing option where your customers can use other options and get some sort of benefit for using those options versus using a credit card. What it's done this year is, for us, it has actually saved us $10,000. That's why I was showing you can save $10,000. Now, of course, that's going to be based on how much you process in credit cards, what your total gross annual sales are. But I guarantee you're paying a lot in credit card processing, no matter what you're doing. If you're using one of the easiest systems like PayPal or any of those services, Square, you're paying at least 2.5%. You'd be amazed to find out how much you're actually paying. And anytime you can save those things by giving alternative options, you're going to benefit in the long run. Now, one of the biggest things that I do is I find the things that people want the most. And the thing that people want the most, or that we get asked about the most, is digitals, because we work with seniors. And so what I do is I do it based on how much they spend and if they pay with cash, check, and card. So if a client spends over $2,000, then I give them 5 additional digital bonuses, or bonus digitals. The idea is that they get the extra bonus, and most of them will figure out a way to pay that way. I've been amazed at how many people have brought me just stacks of cash this year, or that have written checks, even just because they're like, oh, you know what, I can just transfer the money from this account to that account, or can I bring you a check tomorrow? And heck yeah, if that saves me an extra $60 to $120 per transaction, that is well worth the money, because honestly, that money adds up. And like I said, I'm going to take a big vacation this year because I gave myself a $10,000 raise. There's a couple of different ways that you guys can go about this. Don't forget to check your local bank. Ask your local bank or your credit union about options if they have anything like lifestyle lending. PayPal is a great option. You can actually go onto PayPal. PayPal has some options where you can do a finance. They basically finance it through PayPal, but there is still a percentage that you use or that you lose with PayPal, because PayPal wants their fingers in everything. The system that we use is called Onspot financing. And I'm actually going to provide a link in the bottom of, or in the description, to the Onspot financing provider list. And what I did was I checked this out today. If you go onto the Onspot provider list, you can type in an address or a zip code and put within 100 miles. And it will show you a list of all the different companies that use it in your area. You could reach out to those companies and find out who they use, what bank they use, to get that service. If you're in Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Washington, I believe Oregon, Nevada, and Arizona, you can give my guy or my people a call. It's actually not a guy. Her name is Randy. And I'll actually add her email address in the bottom here. It's through Mountain America Credit Union, and you can reach out to them about lifestyle lending. So I know it's been a huge help in my business, and it's not been something that's just happened this year. It's been a bit of a journey over the past couple of years, but I'm giving you all the tools to be able to make it work and be able to give yourself a raise. Whether it's $1,000, whether it's $10,000, get on it right now. Figure out a way to incentivize cash, check, or financing, and give your customers options, pave the way for them, and take back some of that money from the credit card processing. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you'll join me again soon. Make sure that you scroll down, tell us about what you would do with an extra $10,000 cash. Make sure to smash the like button and share this video with a friend if you think it would be beneficial to them. Thanks, guys. Take care. Today, I want to share with you shitballs. That was no-go. X that mother trucker. Okay. Years. While business sucks donkey balls, I created the 7-Figure Photographer to help show other people frickin' hell. Where you would go on vacation if you had that money. And don't forget